Hey everybody, welcome to Slamfire Radio, episode 452 for April 21st, 2021. I'm one of your hosts, Kelly.
And I'm the other one, Adriel.
It's small, it's short, it's sweet. That's it.
I like it.
Yeah. And we didn't
Easy.
screw it up this month, and I wasn't muted. It's pretty good. I'm
It's
lead host
30 in
anyways.
Arizona. Is that Fahrenheit? It's probably Fahrenheit, right?
30 Fahrenheit?
That's not that warm. Yeah, that's cold.
Yeah, that's cold. 30 Celsius is freaking hot.
I'm just messing around. I can't imagine it's 30 Fahrenheit in Arizona.
Well, now we're gonna have to look it up, see what it is. Anyways, so it's only the two of us tonight. Mo's away. He's what is Mo doing? Did he give us an excuse this time?
He said something about just having raw, unadulterated hatred for the viewers and listeners.
Yeah, I heard that last week. It was underlying.
Yeah, something about raw hatred. Yeah, that's all I heard. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of which, no, Kyle, he's off tonight. He's getting a new car or truck. I was
truck.
Yeah, it's a truck. Does everybody have trucks in Alberta? An ATVs and a horse and a cowboy hat.
Some of us have minivans that cosplay as trucks.
You know what? Okay, let's talk about what we didn't guns this week, and I'll tell you about my car, my SUV that was similar to your minivan this weekend. Anyways, what we didn't guns this week is brought to you by the Calgary Shooting Center. It's Canada's premier firearms retailer. We have nothing listed here, but I'm sure if you go
this week they have the 590A1 in stock. This is the Mossberg. That's kind of like a combat shotgun. It's the one that's got the little like shell that sits in the stock that you can like pop forward to the chamber if you need to, and it is $1,000.
Sweet, awesome. Okay, go over there, say hi to them. Wonder how they did on Glock days, by the way.
I bet you they sold a Glock or two.
I'm thinking they did one or two. Anyways. All right, Adriel, you're up. There's only two of us, so what'd you do?
I hit the range. Let's see. I'll show you what I discovered at the range. So last time I went to the range, I brought out this Jard J180. It's a 180-ish rifle. Advantage being that it takes a gas tube, so you can change your barrel if you need to. And I ran into some problems again. So last time I ran into some cycling issues, and I ran into some feed issues. And so I oiled it up. The cycling issues went away. It still doesn't really like steel case ammo, but it ran the brass stuff just fine. But the other issue I ran into was in mag fit. So this magazine's in right now, and the problem is some of these magazines are so loose they just come right out. I need to push the magazine button. The magazine button's up here, right? So that it just doesn't fit very tightly with some of them, and that's really the issue I ran across. Some of them did fit tightly, like these cross mags fit nice and tight. Oh, sorry, no, they don't. Oh, these cross mags don't fit tightly at all. This metal mag. Oh
no, not that one.
Too.
Not that one.
The trouble is, like when you're shooting it, it's violent. It moves and stuff, and then the magazine falls down a little bit, and then it doesn't feed.
Yeah.
I swear I had some mags that actually locked on it, but I just don't have any next to me right now. So that was that's what was causing me issues. Was magazine fit. Also had out the C71. That's Spectre Ballistics 1022 receiver. Yep. Yeah, that ran fine.
Good.
It's I like that one. It's got the rails just a little bit far forward of the receiver, so it's nice and secure on it. Yeah, it's got enough room for the scope. Like on a 1022, you really do need like a little bit more, like a couple extra spots ahead of where the rail is on a typical 1022 in order to get the scope far forward enough. You know this is very standard for you, but for everyone else out there, it's a common thing with Rugers. And then I brought my M1 Garand out. I brought like 3 clips. I brought my nephew out there, and I just brought 3 clips because I'm like, he won't want to shoot it. No, that's the one he liked the most. He wanted to shoot the M1 Garand all the time. So we had that out there.
The Was it your nephew that shot the bunny?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the M1 Garand is bigger than he is.
Yes. Yeah. And he also shot that. Yeah. Was that on the weekend? Was that on the weekend?
Yeah, you sent me
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Sorry. I I went out to my parents' place and shot a rabbit out there and ate it. And it was good.
Okay,
Does my
was it?
voice sound weird?
Yeah,
Am I not coming through correctly? Or am I just like was that the Rona like seeping through there and getting into the microphone?
You sound good to me. But what do I know?
Thank you. That's all that matters in my books. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, it was good to get the M1 Garand out. It's been a while since I've shot it, and it's such a soft shooter. You know, you look at like metal butt plate, and you're like, oh man, this thing is gonna beat me up. You shoot, you're like, oh no, it's fantastic. Just shooting surplus 308 ammo. It's so good.
Awesome.
I love shooting that gun. Every time I pull it out and shoot it, it's so good. It's somewhere back there.
Somewhere back there.
Yeah. Somewhere back there.
That looks a little different.
It's a little bit different, right? So I put in some slot wall. That's the white stuff that you see up there. The primary problem I was trying to solve was what to do with magazines. I have a lot of magazines. I have like a stupid amount of AR mags for some reason. Every time I buy a gun, like it comes with a bunch of AR mags. Every time I sell one, I'm like, it comes with one magazine, and no one seems to care. And therefore, I have 28 AR mags, and trying to like store those somewhere on a wall is just terrible. So I got a basket for them. That big basket over there can fit all kinds of mags in it. Yeah.
You're gonna do different baskets for different mags?
No, I'm just gonna stuff them all in there. Heck with it.
I can't do that. No.
I keep my mags for my competition stuff separate. I typically put those in. I have a 3-gun bin over there that I take out to the 3-gun matches, and then I got these guys as well. I want to use that for reloading stuff, though. I don't want to use that for magazine storage. Yeah. So the slot wall was from Canadian Tire. I was looking at pegboard and that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So like with pegboard, just standard wood pegboard is fine. It would hold like whatever I need to hold on it. It looks a little cheap. It looks a little cheap. Yeah. It looks a little bit like a 10 or 20-year-old like woodwork shop kind of a thing. So I could paint it. I could paint it black or something like that. And I was looking at some metal pegboard and some rails and some other stuff. And this, I think I might just paint it black, but I prefer the look of like the track wall. Just a little bit cleaner, and there's not a bunch of holes on it, and it's really quick to move stuff around on there as well. So that's what I went with there. And I likely won't have like rifles up on there because I need the space, and that's what the whole point of getting like this big thing of rifles and whatnot. And there's a lot of green screen stuff in there. I'll probably do that in black though, and then use like some LED highlight lighting. Paint everything green. This is from Grey Birch Solutions. Paint everything green, and that way, when there's a full gun ban, you can green screen your guns into rooms and claim the room is dedicated to a clean house. Wine cellar, I think, is the from last week. The wine cellar is the. Actually, that's what I should have. I should have a bottle of wine on the rack.
Multi-purpose. It's a wine cellar.
I thought about it. I had a bottle of wine upstairs. I'm like, oh yeah, I should bring that downstairs and put it on the rack, but I forgot. Yeah, so it's starting to come together. It's starting to look more like a gun room. Right now, I am working on lighting. I think I need to get my ceiling in first. I think I need to get my drop ceiling in and then put the lighting in because I don't know where to put it. I have like nice channels and that kind of thing. I don't know if you guys saw when we looked here. I'm literally just stringing it just to test like the light levels. I can see I need more, but I have more. I have tons of LED lights. Yeah. So I'm going to use them. I'm going to use a lot. Those aren't live, by the way, just in case everyone's like. Those aren't live. Those are
sticking out.
Well, I got like it's a switch to go to my main light up here, which is just a string light right now, and I just haven't bothered wiring it up yet. But I'll have to wire it up so that it's like string light is pretty ghetto. I don't think I want a string light in here, but it's coming along. I've been organizing and I really like how the IKEA rack holds all these ammo cans.
I do too. It looks pretty good.
It's so tight. It's such a good way of storing like just a crap load of ammo, and in a small space, because that's more than a few $1,000s worth of ammo,
Yeah.
and it fits on there just fine.
One for ammo, one for gear, one for.
Mhm.
You should get 3 of them.
Guns. Reloading. I got my reloading
Reading
thing
stuff.
next to me. And then someone on Instagram was recommending I've got commercial grade carpet in here, aka the really thin, like high wear, low cost stuff. And someone's like, you should put those puzzle tiles in there. I was like, oh yeah, I should totally put those puzzle tiles in there, because you know those foam like puzzle things like they have in like kids play areas and that kind of a thing.
Did you not get my picture from Dollarama?
Yes.
Go to Dollarama, the $1.50, and get 4 of them for $1.50.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No, that can't be right. They're way more expensive than that.
No, totally true.
Oh, I gotta go to Dollarama, because like this stuff has no padding to it. It's cold, and like this room, it's warming up now that I'm in it, but it was 15.5 degrees when I got in here. Now it's 16.5. I'd imagine it'll warm up to like normal temperature after a while, just from being in here. But puzzle pieces, yeah.
That
soft.
is a really smart idea.
Yeah, I like it.
I sent it to you because I thought it was really cheap and it was a little bit thicker, and we can use it, cut it up, and use it for cheek risers.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were saying, and I still have a bunch of foam left over, but I wasn't thinking selfishly enough. What about me? What about my needs? So I'll have to I'll have to go pick a bunch of those up, maybe after the show today.
Super cheap. Yeah.
How about you, Kelly?
I spent the weekend at the range. So we on Saturday with the IBC for our instructor boot camp, it stands for, with our Ontario peeps here, and it was good. And one of the reasons that it was good is because of the fact that we were able to shake off all the rust. We all had rust, and it's been a few months since we've done a maple seed, so it was good to try it out. And everybody got to do everything. So the next day we had a maple seed at FRPC, which is my home club here in Kingston, and everybody's points of instruction were really on point. They did fantastic with them. It was really, really good day. So Saturday, the range or the weather was like 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 degrees. It was quite warm. So woke up on Sunday morning, nice and bright and early, and we had snow. And oh God, what the hell is this? And
no sympathy from the Albertans.
I said, oh yeah, it's maple seed, our first maple seed of the year. So we had snow, and it was cold and miserable. And then it was windy as can be. Our canopies flew away. We staked everything down, but because everything was wet from the snow and also from the spring runoff, the ground wasn't really all that solid. And so if you put a stake in it, we put really long stakes in them too. Everything, but it still pulled up with the wind and that. So we had to use cinder blocks and tie everything down. So one of the things is that on Saturday I went to go and get the maple seed trailer. So we have an upgraded one. It's amazing. I love it. It even has the back where you can pull it down and it has a ramp, and I can stand up, and it's going to be so good towing that around this year. I know, right? But where I have it parked currently, it was it was up to the wheels. It was about 6 inches above the wheel, so of water I'm talking about, because of the anyways. So I couldn't pull it out, so I had to take everything out of the trailer, load it into my Tiguan, and take to the range. So the Tiguan became your van. Essentially, it was a maple seed van. So I had everything that I needed, though. It was good. So Sunday, as I said, it was maple seed. We had a bunch of kids on the line, youth shooters, which they were fantastic. We had 2 riflemen that were youth shooters. So one of them was 17 years old. He has never picked up a gun. He shot a rifleman score, and then we had a 12-year-old, and Wes has been shooting for quite a while. His dad is Rob Foote, and Rob Foote is a listener. He's actually been on the show as well. He did our goose hunting show. So, yeah. So Wes is an accomplished shooter. So he came out and shot. He shot a 216, which was fantastic. He also shot a 208. So he's a really, really good shooter. Anyways, and then we had a couple that were there. And so Tibbin's a relatively new shooter, and she was borrowing Kelly Kincaid's rifle because she actually anyways, so she was shooting Kelly's rifle, and she got a rifleman score. And then Ryan, her partner, was there as well, and he borrowed my rifle, and because he didn't have a rifle, so yeah, he shot a rifleman score with that too. So a couple, and then 2 U shooters all got rifleman scores. And the people that were there, they were fantastic. They were really good. They were a really good group of people. We had several that were in the 200s to 205 that almost qualified. And then, yeah, there was some issues. There's issues with ammo and a few rifles that just didn't work out right. So we had a couple of learners on the line, other than the ones I just talked about. But yeah, it was a really fun day. Great. Everybody stayed afterwards to help clean up as well. So that was really beneficial. And it was a quick cleanup too, because I pared things down because I had to carry everything into the Tiguan. But yeah, we were up and out of there in record time. So it was awesome. What else? Had another meeting for the She Shoot. So I met who her next guest is, and she is fantastic. I'm not going to tell you who it is. Maybe we will tell you a bit later. But she is sponsored by a Canadian company, and she is a record holder down in the US for the longest shot. So if anybody knows, puts that together, then you know who he is. Anyways, okay. All right. What else? Oh, I got so much to do, but I don't know. Anyways, we'll catch up later. Why don't we get into upcoming events? So upcoming events is sponsored by TLS Alpha. TLS Alpha is a Canadian digital agency that works exclusively with firearms vertical. They help with business processes, strategic planning, websites, e-commerce, and battling the stigma of the industry carries with banks, merchant processors. I'm spitting all over the place, and social media. So go over and check out tlesalpha.com. All right. So I updated some of the show notes, and I was going to put all the Maple Seed events in here.
There's lots. We emailed out like a big email with how many events in it? 7?
Yeah.
One of them wrong. Ish.
Yeah, the AMA is not where it was listed. So
it's in Nova Scotia, though, right?
It's just outside of Halifax/Dartmouth. Yes. But it's not where they said it was. Anyways.
Was it close? Was it kind of close?
I don't know. Anyways. So we're getting that fixed. So Nova Scotia was released. We had a couple of events in New Brunswick released. Ontario, Alberta, Saskatchewan. We had Saskatchewan. And do we have any BC released?
None in BC yet. But I saw some in there that should be popping soon.
Yep. So all kinds of different events that are coming up for Project Maple Seed. I had one guy. So anyways, I haven't even responded. He just sent me an email. He says, yeah, can I, I'd like to give up my Cornwall seat because I'm coming from Great Britain, Cornwall, Ontario, who's driving 15 hours for a Maple Seed. Anyways, he goes, can I go to the one in New Brunswick? I'm going, you might even want to see one that's going to be a little bit closer. So I'm going to tell him about the ones that are a little closer. So he doesn't have to drive 15 hours.
Yeah.
Maybe 3 or 4. 3 or 4 might be doable for him. Well, he was willing to drive 15
He was willing to go 15. I'm sure 3 or 4 will be very nice.
Yeah. So
change of pace.
Crazy people only drive 15, 20 hours to go, or 43. It was 43, wasn't it? That's how long it took me to get to Alberta. 43 hours.
I have not driven across the country or to Texas for Maple Seed or Appleseed. So
correct.
I have no idea. The furthest I've driven is 6 or 7 or something like that.
That's not bad. You want to talk about this Cabin Fever Classic that's happening at
Heck yes, I do.
Okay.
The Cabin Fever Classic is a registered sporting clay match at the Wapiti Shooters Club. It'll be April 29th to May 1st. Go to wapitishootersclub.ca for more info. Busting clays, I guess.
Hey, We don't have it here. We should probably actually put it in for the next show, but let's talk about it anyways. National Range Day is June 4th. Go on over to National Range Day. I think it's .ca. You can get some ideas there and how you can actually have a range day, what types of range days you can have, register it as well, take pictures, and then show the world that Canada is all about shooting. So go over there and check that out and register as well. So, let's move on to the news, shall we? What did you put in the news here? I haven't read it yet.
Well, the big one that some people are talking about is that the U.S. Army has awarded their next generation squad weapon to SIG to replace its M4 carbines and the or carbines in American and the M249 SAW. So this is here, let me share my screen just so people can kind of see what this looks like. Let's go window. Let's go that thing right there. Boom, there it is. Nice. So they're based off the MCX Spear, I believe is what SIG's called them, and this is what's going to replace the M4. Now, okay, yeah, it looks like a M4 with a different name on it. Yep. But the big difference is the ammo. So back in the 50s and 60s, you know, the U.S. Army was running like M1 Garands, and then they ran the M14s, and those were both pretty big battle rifles with 308 20-round box mags. And then after a while, they're like, "Oh man, this is terrible. We should get something that's like got a smaller cartridge. It's easier to carry. That's not quite so heavy." And they went with the M16, and they went with that. They're back to a battle rifle. 6.8 by 51 is practically 308, a little bit smaller of a bullet. They have gone with much higher pressure. I don't know if they're going with the maximum, but stupidly high pressures on these things in order to get like a ton of performance out of them. But they're back to big bullets again. So if you're a follower of military things and you like the idea of battle rifles with full or intermediate, I don't know if you can even call 308 intermediate, big bullets, they're doing them.
They like big bullets and they cannot lie. So
they got a big bump on them too on the back. The base, the case head on these things is steel, and then the body is brass. So they use a hybrid case on them.
Really?
Yeah, which is pretty wild. Cool. Yeah, and it allows them to run much higher pressures because their case head is steel, and it won't fail. So
I like the rifle.
Yeah, the paint job's cool on it. I don't think that I don't think that the issued weapons will look like that for very long. They'll probably be all worn out and crappy looking in short order. But yeah, that's
imagine the U.S. military can spend money on their military.
Well, there's a little bit of debate around like how soon or if even these things will get adopted, just because it's quite a bit of expenses to get these things rolling, and performance wise, I mean, it will perform better at range because they're using like a bigger, heavier bullet, and they're pushing it to stupid speeds. Yeah. But it's going to have a lot more recoil, and you won't be able to carry as much ammo. I don't know.
Well, you have people that can do that for you. You carry the rifle. You have somebody else carry
a squire.
Squire,
it's not a please squire. Bring me another 5 magazines. I seem to have used them all. No, that's not how it works. Okay. Yeah, that's that 6.8 by 51, and if you like, there's more articles on that cartridge and just the nutso things they're trying to do with it. I think I read 80,000 psi. Crazy, like a ton of it. The article says they produce less recoil. I say
bull.
That sounds like some bull. Maybe less than 308, but they're trying to get like the same performance as a 270 short mag would get out of it. I can't imagine it's going to have less recoil than a 5.56. Unless maybe they get it with the weight and with the suppressor. I don't know how that's supposed to work. And then one that I just noticed here. So Full30 sends me emails. Full30 is a video hosting platform for gun stuff, and I've got some videos on there. And I noticed that they are migrating to JUXXI, which is like a more general purpose video hosting website.
Mhm.
So they're migrating all their content and I think their creators over to that platform. Hopefully it gets some traffic. We keep hoping that some other platform will get popular other than YouTube.
Yeah.
And it's not happening.
So, what other options are there out there for us?
Oh, there's a bunch of them. I got
So
my videos on like almost all of them, and they just don't. I got like a tenth of the
we're
views
not
on those
we're not
compared to
getting the
YouTube.
traffic.
No, they're
That,
not even worth it. There's just there's Rumble, there's BitChute, there is some open source thing that's Orly or something like that, Owly. There's a ton. We need Elon to buy YouTube. Yeah, that would be neat, but I think it's going to be too expensive. You could buy Twitter. That's a good place to start.
yeah,
Yeah.
that'd
I
be
still
cool.
won't
If
use
it,
Twitter, but
yeah, you won't use
fantastic.
Twitter, even though
No.
he's going to take it over and it's like free speech.
The whole platform is just like spouting
A
off into
cesspool.
the universe and hoping that someone's going to listen to your stuff. I prefer, like, at least with YouTube or what we're doing
Dialogue.
right now, this is two-way. People are responding in real time as we're talking, and we
Yeah.
put out these podcasts and we get feedback and whatnot. So I think that's really important to things.
Well, you
Yeah.
also have to have the ability to have the feedback and have the conversations as well.
Yeah, I guess you still can on Twitter. It's just not built like, it's not built well for that stuff on it. So
No, I know.
and I really don't like the user base. So I don't see the point.
All right, that's what we. That's it for the news. I don't have anything else in there. Yeah, I have been listening to the podcast for nighttime podcast. You should go over there and have a look, have a listen to it. There was this week's episode was all about the shooting in Nova Scotia. So there's a new book out on that as well. So go and have a listen to that. I threw it in the news. I was just talking about it. I didn't really listen to it. I didn't list it, but I've been listening to it. So it's got some great information on there about what was happening, obviously, with the RCMP and everything. Yeah. Anyways. Okay. Let's get into legal gun legal CCFR legal fund donations. I can talk now. Going over to the CCFR, help them out because they are helping us out with an upcoming court battle that's still taking place. Right now, it's now more important than ever to go over and become a member or to donate to the Legal Challenge Fund. You can send an EMT to finance@firearmsrights.ca or become a member. Hey, guess what?
Chicken butt?
Yes. Mm-hmm. No, I just sent in the paperwork for us to become not business members. We're switching to club range members. So Maple Seed sent it in last night.
Oh, yep. Neat.
Yep.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, New Gun Stuff. New Gun Stuff is brought to you by Bolt Action Coffee. Slamfire Radio is a brand ambassador for Bolt Action Coffee. The coffee is some of the best coffee you can ever get your little hands on. So, go on over to boltactioncoffee.com and give a discount code of Slamfire, all capitals, all one word, and then you'll get it sent straight to your little house. And you can agree with us, and we'll have coffee in the morning, and you can send me pictures. Okay, so New Gun Stuff.
I got some stuff here. So, yeah, there's a couple things that are that's happening. One, the Bren 2s, I believe there was some pricing announced for the restricted versions of those. They're expensive. They're like $2,800. Coming soon. North Silva will be bringing those in. I Run Guns has gray market ones if you want them right now, but again, they're restricted. So they're expecting the non-restricted one to come in right around September, October kind of a thing. So end of the year for that.
Okay.
Which that's, that'll be an interesting entrant. I believe I took a look at some reviews on the B&T APC 223, which is that Swiss one, and the accuracy is not as good as you would expect for a Swiss rifle. Reliability is good as far as I know, but
accuracy is not there.
That. Well, it's like an inch and a half, which I don't know if you should expect more than that, but for the price, I think you should. I mean, if you spent $3,000 on an AR on AR parts, it would be pretty accurate. I think you could get like a pretty Gucci barrel. You could probably get it to 1 MOA and hold 1 MOA. And I don't know. That I think that would be interesting. There's a couple of other things that got announced that I don't know if they're super interesting or not. Like I Run Guns was announcing the PSA AR V, which is like a 9mm PCC that's possible to bring in, but I don't think that's relevant for us. And yeah, didn't really notice anything else that was too interesting.
Okay. I'm typing to you in the private chat.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I will. You want me to like take over?
No.
Okay.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyways, that's it. That's all. C2.
That's all for the gun stuff. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for that. So, what we're going to do is we're going to get into the main topic. And I thought up this topic on the fly because you know what? We didn't have a main topic, but I was thinking about it. I got a message just before I left work tonight, and it was from, do you remember I was telling you about the people that bid on the United Way range day package and all that? Anyways, so she had a fantastic time. She wanted to know all the guns that she shot, and she wanted to know specifics about them. And then I sent her all the pictures and everything, so she could brag about what she was shooting. Anyways, so she got back to me today, and she said that a friend of hers saw the pictures and heard all about what she did, and she says, "I know that you took me because it was a charity, and I bid on it," but she said, "How much would it cost for one guy to go to the range and do everything that I did?" And I went, "This is a dilemma because normally I would take people to the range for free, but she spent $350 to go to the range. So what do I say?" So I thought for the main topic tonight, taking people to the range. What are your expectations, especially with the prices of fire or ammunition now? What?
Yeah, ammo. I was thinking the same thing. I took my nephew out and I got him to shoot the cheap stuff mostly.
Yeah.
22s.
Well, that's it, right? So, but if we have somebody, so if somebody approaches you and would like you to take them to the range, like for example, this weekend I had booked a friend of mine was getting married, and she said, "I'd love to go to the range, just part of a get together for the ladies." And I said, "Okay, let's book the weekend. I'll take you on Saturday and the group of ladies that are here that are part of your inner circle, and we'll go and do like instead of a stag we'll go and shoot guns." Anyways, so she actually can't make it this weekend. We'll reschedule again, but I was willing to provide all the firearms, targets, etc., as well as the ammo for free for this because it's a friend of mine, and they've been talking about wanting to go to the range. And typically that's what will happen. If somebody actually contacts me, I'll say, "Okay, I'll take you. Just show up at this time." I give them a whole list of stuff. Be prepared for the weather, dress appropriately. If you have eyes and ears, bring those. If you don't, you need to tell me, so I'll supply them. I supply the targets, I supply the guns, I supply the ammo. And when we're talking about like larger caliber ammo, I limited it to, so when I did the PGW, the M15, I only allowed the people that I took last weekend or the weekend before, I only allowed 3 rounds per person because it's 6.5. It's right. So I'm not giving them a whole 20 rounds to shoot down range of that, obviously. So especially if it's on my dime. So what's the expectations? What do you have? And people that are watching, listening, what is your expectations of taking people to the range?
Milsurp ammo. 22s, Milsurp. Oh yeah, you want to shoot? No, I'll bring an SKS. I'll bring my Mosin. That'll beat you up. You won't want to shoot still after that. Before when 223 was a little bit cheaper, maybe like a mag or two of 223. Trying to think of like what else is on the wall there. Oh yeah, a box of shot shells if they're game for it.
Yeah,
shot shells and clays is a great way to kill like an hour or two.
Yep.
And is it pretty inexpensive? A box of
yeah.
What does a box of clays go for these days? $20?
I haven't bought one in a while. In the last
Neither
box
have
of
I.
plays that I bought, I took out to Kells and we've been using them for our target practice. So there was some on the range this weekend or the last
Mhm.
weekend, and I put them in the up on the berm. And we had a couple of 12 couple of boxes of 12 gauge and a couple of boxes of 28. I know.
28? No. 12. Sorry. This is the gun.
No, I wanted them to be able to try everything. The only thing that I didn't bring was a milsurp. I wish I had. So
I love taking the SKS out for that because the ammo's cheap. I bought my SKS ammo when it was like 26 cents a round, and it's all corrosive. And yeah, if you want to shoot like 3-4 clips of that stuff, go nuts. It's not going to be because like I think one of the things you're identifying is just like how much cost you're incurring by letting them shoot all this ammo, and it can add up. So I do prefer to kind of push them towards the more inexpensive ammo stuff. I don't want them shooting like 338 Lapua or big stuff and just ripping rounds off. Especially they're just making noise a lot of the time, right? So
well, with people, I wanted to give them a good breadth, especially the people that I brought out for the United Way. Like they're paying quite a bit, so I'm gonna give them, everything. But I do make them aware of like these are people that just got their pals, and the two couples that I took out a couple of weekends ago. I made them aware of the fact that shooting's not a cheap sport, and the prices right now for ammo, you have to factor that into as well as what you do want to shoot. So 9mm, 22. So Grey Birch Solutions has rimfire, baby. Yeah. They shot a lot of rimfire. I let them shoot as much rimfire as they wanted to. They did shoot my 1022 with the Grey Birch Solutions. I tricked out everything, barrel, receiver, etc. And so the guy that was shooting that says, "Can you send me everything, all the parts?" And I said, "Sure, no problem." Anyways, so it wasn't his standard Ruger 1022. He said, and I said, "No, it's not."
Well, that's another thing. Like cartridge doesn't necessarily mean much. You could take your Wrangler out. You could take a 1911 22 out. You could take your 1022 out. Those three guns, they're all still just using 22, and they get to experience different ways of firing, but you're still using the cheap ammo, right?
Correct, and which I did. So, but yeah. So going back to my original question, are you going to charge? What do I do? She asked, "How much is it going to cost?" And normally I don't charge.
I guess it depends who it is. If it's an acquaintance that I've never met, I might charge for the ammo cost on the ammo, right?
Yeah.
And just say like, hey, this is cost. If you were to go out and buy this right now, it would cost more because I buy in bulk. I get like fantastic deals. I am doing you a favor by letting you shoot all this ammo and not charging you for like the wear and tear on guns and that kind of thing. If you were to go to a range that does rentals, you would be paying 5 times more than this, probably, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. I sometimes people like pitch in because I've taken a couple people where I've taken them once and then I take them again and they're like, "Oh, can I throw some money at you for ammo?" And donations are accepted. So yeah. If they're gonna throw me a few bucks, that's fine. But largely, I try to limit the scope and price. How many guns do you bring out if you bring a new group out to the range?
Typically, I'll bring out anywhere from 5 to 7 pistols. I'll bring out 2 shotguns, 4 rifles.
I thought you were going to say 5 to 7 total, but that's way more than 5 to 7 total. that must be either a really long range day or they just shoot one mag of each kind of a thing and then move on.
So it's 3 or 4 hours. Which is long for somebody who's never shot before, but it's also I give them the opportunity of trying every single one of them and then going back to their favorite or their second favorite and trying those out as well.
Yeah, I usually do like a 22 pistol, 9mm pistol. If I had a revolver, that would be cool to like a 38 or something like that. That would be neat to bring out, but I hate them so much. I just don't really have one on hand. And the Wrangler is just like begrudgingly there because it's cheap and it looks cool.
That's why it's there. I said, there you go. You get to shoot it. You get to shoot a revolver. Now let's go play with the real guns.
Wasn't that frustrating? That make them load it too.
Yeah, no,
And unload it. Oh man. That'll
that'll be
take them some
hard.
time. Do you typically get them to load mags or do you do it yourself?
Depends on the person. So if
Hmm.
somebody actually has some prior experience, I'll get them to do it, and I'll um the first couple I did everything for them. The second couple that came out, what I did was I loaded the first ones because I wanted to see how they handle it. So the magazines specifically, I'd put one in and I'd get them to shoot it, and then I'd give them 10 or 5 rounds and then 10 and see how they did. And then afterwards, when we went back to choose whatever firearm they wanted to shoot, then I made them load the magazines or prep the magazines or
Hmm.
insert cartridges. And
Prep.
then, yeah, I know, right? So, just because they're proficient at it
Hmm.
and that as well. So it's giving them a little bit of instruction on how to do it. The bullet points that way, and that it sounds funny, but it had to be explained. So how it gets inserted into the magazine. So
Yeah, you need to show them and technique. You need to show them how to load it, right?
yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. And then I probably could have sold a couple of speed loaders that day too, just because it's so much easier.
Yeah. I mean, with the Ruger 1022 mags, those are easy enough to load. With like pistol mags, yeah, there's technique to this kind of stuff, right? A lot of people just don't
Yeah.
know how to like put enough pressure down to get the bullets in and move on from there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Brandon says start with the semis, start with a GSG 15, then PPC, followed by the 180s and more interesting options. Yeah, it's kind of like what we did. Yeah.
Hmm.
Always start with a lower caliber um, and then move up. And you'd be surprised, especially with women. People are thinking that, you know what, they're not going to like the bigger guns. They actually do, but
Hmm.
quite frankly, you have to start with a smaller caliber and work the way up. But
Yeah,
yep,
and then they know. Oh, okay, that's what's going on there. Some
yeah,
people like the recall. They're like, okay, that was nope, I'm good. That's one is enough.
yeah,
With pistols, like with center fire pistols, some people get that. And then with like a larger center fire rifle, same thing with a
yeah.
308 or above. Some people
I
will just
take
be
the
like, no,
time.
that's enough.
I take the time and give them proper positioning, proper stance, proper grip, proper
Hmm.
everything beforehand, and I walk them through it. And just from the fact, I say, okay, pick it up. Make sure that I give them. Make sure you're able to feel the pistol or the rifle or whatever it is to
Hmm.
get a feel for it first, and then yeah, proper positioning, stance, everything, grip. And then that way they're less likely to get that recoil or afraid of that recoil or whatever. So, and
One thing I used to do when I had people gather at my place and then just kind of head out to the range in one vehicle, if I had some time, is I would set up like a dry fire area. I
yeah,
would get one of those laser bullets, pop it in a 9 millimeter, and get people to show me shooting with that because sometimes their sight alignment's not correct. And it's kind of frustrating to try to describe that on the range where they've got the blade way up or they've got it in the base of the notch and they're not hitting what they're aiming at and or they're striking the ground or something like that, right? So like as
yeah,
a safety thing, that laser thing, so nice. So nice
yeah,
to be able to see. For a lot of people, they're like, oh, that's where it hits. Oh, it's not hitting like way above that. It's hitting
yeah.
right on the tip of that thing. Ah, got it. So,
And it's good that you mentioned that because that's one of the things that I mention. I talk about side alignment and exactly what it is because a lot of people don't know. You're going,
mhm,
okay, because people assume people know. No, they're brand new. They don't know what they're supposed to do. So tell them how to do sight alignment so that they can actually hit the target. By
yeah.
the way, the lady that I had, so the couple that was my friend Wyatt and his girlfriend.
Hmm.
Anyways, Emily shot better than Wyatt.
Probably took instruction better. Guys have this idea that we can like just innately like, oh, we play video games and stuff like that, so we can shoot a rifle. That's what my nephew
But
was saying.
Riot was a really good shooter too. He had a little
Oh, was
bit
it?
of a flinch,
Hmm.
which we went through the exercise on it, but Emily
Did you do
didn't.
ball and dummy with brand new shooters?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh,
He's
it's good. It's good. I love doing ball and dummy because I've seen it a couple of. I saw it at the range the other day. A guy was like, "Oh man, this. I don't really like this pistol." And I'm like, "What's happening?" He's like, "It's not accurate. Like I don't like. I'd rather shoot a rifle." I'm like, "Let me show you something. I think it's anticipation. I'll prove it to you." Did the ball and dummy drill, and yeah, and it's like he was like, like, see that? And he's like, "Oh, that's really embarrassing." I'm like, "No, don't be embarrassed. Like this happens to everyone. Everyone does
Yeah.
this." And it's just something you got to fight. And yeah, it was. It's always impressive, like when they expect it to be a click and it's a bang, and they drill whatever they're aiming at. It's like, oh,
I
the
get
sights
it.
are working just fine. It's me. Okay. I don't know. It's one of those like epiphanies that you see in people that's like really rewarding. Like well, in Maple Seed, for a lot of people, the NPOA, you do the NPOA and you're like, this, like, for myself, I didn't feel like that was a huge breakthrough, but some of the other things were. And for some people at Maple Seed, the NPOA is the biggest breakthrough, and they do it, and all of a sudden it's like their groups just like
Yeah.
shrink, and yeah, it's this huge epiphany for people, and it's really cool to see.
Yeah. When people, when it all makes sense to people, it's kind of those light bulb moments. So I demonstrated MPOA on the weekend,
Mm-hmm.
and all I hear from the back was, "Oh my!" Because I'm doing so for those of you who haven't done the program, we demonstrate with a laser, natural point of aim, and we demonstrate muscling and recoil and all kinds of things like that. So, anyways, so I was doing the muscling, and so I think it was Patrick. Patrick, he's watching. He did the MPOA um, point of instruction, and so he
Mm-hmm.
carded the sights while I was muscling, and then I went back to my natural point of aim, right back on, and everybody's in the background going, "Holy shit! Oh my god!" It's like, "Oh, I get it now. This is
How'd that
why this
happen?
makes sense. Why she?" Anyways, it makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Anyways,
It's a good
epiphany.
demonstration, and yeah, it's impressive. Anyways, yeah. So the ball and dummy thing uh, is really good. I guess that's really great because you are putting that person on the right path
Hmm.
to shooting handguns, and if you don't give them that point of instruction early, they might put 1,000 rounds downrange before figuring out that they're flinching terribly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're kind of talking about all the things that you can do to make a shooter's day better, basically, if you take them to the range. So, and then also your day is better by them, coughing up some
Hmm.
money for ammo as well. But
Washing
given,
hands at the end of the day and having a couple snacks.
yeah, I typically say if I'm doing this, I typically bring water and a couple of snacks. I
Hmm.
also bring, I make sure that they clean their hands and remind them to clean their hands.
Hmm.
Like we'll go say a note, and I said, "Okay, there's a bathroom over there. Go wash your hands before you eat anything or anything." So, but I tell them also to eat before they come to the range and make sure that they have water with them too. And then I also supply it because I'm not counting on them to bring the stuff.
Yeah. Well, and for washing your hands and that kind of thing, it's just important to have lots of water and be able to. You have a bathroom at your range. I don't have a bathroom at my range. You got to bring water and soap to scrub that stuff off, especially if they've been loading like 22 ammo and
Yeah,
their like fingertips are all leady. That's the fingertips they're going to use to eat whatever snacks you brought. And I
yeah,
just usually bring like some junk food, some hot rods or a bag of chips or something like that. And after 3 or 4 hours, it's a nice thing on the way home to drive and eat some snacks and talk about. Typically, questions then are about um, licensing and about what's legal, what's not legal, why is that illegal? Well, it's stupid. Okay, and getting through some of that stuff so that hopefully you can encourage them to get their PAL right.
yeah. That's exactly it. Kind of what we want to do. We bring people to the range so that they will join our community.
Hmm.
See how fun it is.
Hopefully, or
Yeah.
at the least, oh, I see the allure. I get
Mm-hmm.
why these guys like this. I don't want to do it myself, but I can see why they like it, and I don't want to take that away from them.
Yeah. Exactly. Because I want to keep my guns. Oh, speaking of which, anyways, Ontario. Ontario's
Oh, I
election is
didn't put
coming
that in
up.
the
We
news.
didn't put it in the
I
news.
didn't put it in the news because I thought it was not applicable since they're not going to win anyways. But the Ontario Liberals said they're going to ban handguns. Although they kind of said it in a way that is beyond what like
The scope.
the federal Liberals gave as scope. Yeah. I think you'd mentioned. Well, do you want to cover this? This is Ontario. The only reason I even heard of it was Toronto's the center of the universe, and handguns were getting banned there. So I assume that this would mean no crime the week after. No more gangbangers or murders or anything like that with handguns, right?
No.
I was promised by politicians.
Yeah, because if you're a criminal and you use a gun in a criminal way, that's already banned. I don't know if they know that.
Well, a lot of one of the cool things about everything being online now is that the cops typically will take pictures of the guns that were seized and then put it online. And you look at them, you're like, that's a shorty Glock. Those were never legal in Canada. That's a prohib for sure. That's a smuggled prohib. So the nice thing there is you're able to, like, if it gets posted on Reddit or something like that, you can say it's a smuggled gun, and people will be like, "Oh, how do you know?" Well, because that's the only thing it could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But people don't know that. People just think that banning guns is a good thing because it means that it's not going to be crime, but they don't actually want to take the time to really think about it and analyze what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. But I do know if the Liberals get in, guess what?
Federally or provincially?
Provincially for Ontario.
Yeah, they're going to ban your handguns.
Yeah, they will.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, besides that.
I don't know. I don't follow Ontario politics.
Last time, our Ontario power rates went through the roof because we were paying it off. Because, anyways,
something happening here in Alberta, actually. Not with Liberals. We've never had those. But when the NDP took power, they shut down a bunch of the coal power plants and got natural gas going, and that sent our rates up quite a bit as well.
Skyrocketing. Well, when the Liberals said that they were going to ban guns, then the NDP came up and said, "Us too."
It's a good thing. Like I don't follow again Ontario's provincial politics at all, but if those two parties had a coalition, you'd be screwed because they have the vast majority. The Conservatives only win because NDP and Liberals vote split in Ontario. It's like in Alberta, the only way the Conservatives lose is if they vote split with an even further right party. And
we won't talk about that.
As long as that doesn't happen, I can't imagine. There's a lot of polling that shows like the NDP would win if there was a vote right now, but I think it's just bad polling.
Ooey?
Yeah. For Alberta, I think it's just tooey.
Okay. Well, we got off topic, but we forgot about
we're talking about the other. Well, this is a conversation you might have on the drive home.
Well, during the range trip, this is
did you have politics during the range trip?
Hell yeah.
Well, I'm talking about like aim and trying to aim for this thing over there.
Well, no, after. Did you really have a good time today? Yes. You want to go get your Powell? Come out and have some fun? Yes. Okay.
You want to own a handgun?
You want to own a handgun?
Don't buy Liberal. Don't vote Liberal.
Next election, hey, make sure you vote so that you can actually continue to do this, and other people can as well. But at least they're being more informed. So that's a conversation we have.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah.
So my takeaway from this is, I'll go back to them and maybe I'll say, you know what? Let's cover the cost of the ammo.
Because you're gonna drive out. There's gonna be gas. There's gas costs. There's gonna be wear and tear on your vehicle, on your guns. There's gonna be the cost to replenish the ammo, which at this point is gonna be higher than your initial cost you paid for that ammo whenever you bought it.
So $500 then.
That would be a full featured day, I think. $500 worth of ammo. That's a lot of ammo.
Yeah. No. Anyways. Yeah. And the range is only 5 minutes from my house. But besides that,
so jealous.
I know, jealous. Right? Okay. But the other thing is, the other takeaway is everybody that's listening or is watching, go and take a new shooter to the range.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. All right. Okay. That was a good main topic. Now that I can answer that, I feel good about it. A little bit, anyways. Okay. Why don't we get into listener feedback? Listener feedback is sponsored by Army DC Gunsmith. It's a full-service gunsmith who specializes in firearms refinishing. He offers hot bluing, parkerizing, Cerakote finishes, as well as wood refinishing. Check out his online inventory of new and used guns, firearms, accessories, and optics, and more at dcgunsmith.ca. Also, you can check him out on Facebook and also on the Instagrams as well. And go over and say hi to Denny for us. By the way, check out it. He has some really good sales on every once in a while as well. And I'm watching you type. And anyways,
Did you lose your train of thought?
Yeah, because I'm watching
stuck at the station. Doug was just mentioning if you're covering the Ontario handgun ban, then make sure to brag about the Alberta CFO complaining to the feds about the OIC and the fact it will do nothing. And that is something that happened. The Alberta CFO sent a letter in to Marco complaining about the fact that the OIC won't have any impact on anything that they wanted to have impact on.
Exactly. He was out at the border the other day practicing being a border guard. He says if politics don't work out, maybe he can fall back on that. I think he should.
Marco Blair?
Yeah.
Marco?
Yeah. Public safety.
Was
Minister.
he
my boss
ever a cop?
No, he's a politician.
No, he's a politician. Blair was a cop.
Yeah, not a very good one.
Marco doesn't strike me as as someone who could.
He's a lifetime politician.
Wrestle someone to the ground and stop them from bringing handguns into the country.
He's letting I must admit he's going, okay, come on in. All right.
Yeah.
What do you mean? You're not an illegal alien. What is that? What is it? It's what was the term that they used a couple of years ago about people crossing the border illegally?
Undocumented?
No.
Asylum seeker?
No. It was a weird way of
undocumented migrant?
No. Jeez.
Okay. Know.
I'll have to figure it out. I'll remember it in when I'm sleeping in the middle of the night, and I'll text you at about 3 a.m. Okay. Isn't it irregular?
Irregular is what Doug's saying. New Liberal voter says Gray Birch. Well, maybe, but like
it is a new Liberal voter, and you're actually correct about that, by the way.
A lot of migrants come from much more conservative areas where they have like very different societal views than progressive Canada does.
Yeah, but once they come into Canada and they get, they have the resources, and the government's letting. Anyways, they are the new Liberal voters. Just saying, they are. They've come from a very conservative country. A lot of never mind. I'm going to stop digging deeper.
Dig up, stupid. Is that this phrase?
Yeah, I'm going to just shut up. So that means we're getting into our emails. So Adriel, read the email, please, while I close the door because it's cool.
Hey there. In the last couple episodes, Adriel has mentioned a Stop the Bleed course. I've been trying to find one in Saskatchewan. Haven't really had much luck finding one. Can you share more about the course you took and where I should be looking? So Stop the Bleed is... I think they made it so that it was like so easy to administer and do everywhere. It's not really as centrally administered as some other courses would be, or essentially certified as some of the courses would be. So I went to like stopthebleed.ca and I didn't really see like a section for instructors or anything like that on there, or a listing of courses. They do have a contact us form that you can fill out that maybe you could ask them, hey, what instructors are there in Saskatchewan? I Googled around a little bit and I found a couple of places that offer Stop the Bleed. One of them was Hut's safety training. That was in, I can't remember which city in Saskatchewan. I'm going to pretend Saskatchewan is one place.
Big city.
There was that place.
Regina, Saskatoon. Those are the only two really big cities.
Yeah. Well, then you have Estevan and Carlisle and Maidstone, and no, these are all small places. But
those are all small.
There's a cash training that offered it, and then there was the stopthebleed.ca. So I emailed this to Drew and just let him know that to reach out, because there isn't really a central place to do it. Every time I've registered for it, it's been because I've been in the know, because someone's putting it on for something, and I say yes, hook me up, because I like training. I like any kind of training that I can get my hands on, and Stop the Bleed is very good training.
Yeah. Check out the local hospitals as well. Some of them
Mm.
here in Ontario offer it as well, believe it or not.
I think like one of the things that you might want to consider is find your local, whoever does your local WMIS and TDG and that kind of stuff, and say you should have Stop the Bleed. And it probably wouldn't take much for them to get it because
Yeah, yeah.
it's another course that they can offer, and it's probably a feeder course because it's so quick to do. It would probably get people in who are interested in doing training, and therefore would probably help that training center get like other while you're here, why don't you get your first aid? Why don't you get your WMIS, your TDG, your like all these other certifications for work or for personal life that are handy.
Awesome. Go and check that out. All right. I think there's one more down here. I think it was down from just give me a second, scrolling down.
There's
there
a
you
Facebook
go.
thing.
There's a Facebook one. I'll read
Mhm.
it. Dear Kelly and Adriel and Mo and Half, I recently got one of those ridiculous short 410 revolver shotguns. It was really fun and ridiculous at the same time. Kelly, you should get one. I say that because it's very hard to find 410 shells anywhere right now. I remember when you got your 28 gauge skeet gun and how you can find shells too easily. But it's I've been seeing every store now has 28 gauge in abundance.
I haven't seen that.
It's
if I
easier
go to
to find.
Cabela's, there will be none. There will be no 28 gauge and maybe a box or two of 410.
Yeah, well,
Actually, the last time I went, there was no 20 gauge Target either.
there is no 20 gauge here in Ontario at all.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
weird.
and that's wild because that's right next to 12 gauge in terms of
Yeah.
popularity.
So maybe if you get a 410, it will become available again. I like the logic in that. I love the show. I usually listen to it when I'm target shooting or on one of my long drives from home from a road job. Keep up the great content. Okay.
Keep up the lengthy content. I don't know if we can promise great, but
Mm,
lengthy.
yeah, lengthy. It is that, isn't it? Okay. Anyways,
Oh, we're just going for an hour today. It's not that
yeah,
bad.
that's a short one. If you would like to contact us, you can do it through several means, but we'd like to hear from you either on slamfryradio@gmail.com or you can Facebook Messenger us, send us something on Instagram, or even just join us live and comment in the comment field like Doug did, and we'll put it up as well. Okay. Patreonies, we don't have any new Patreon supporters, but if you would like to become one, go on over to patreon.com at patreon.com/Slamfire Radio, and you can help support the show. We can get out content and upgrade the servers like we did this week, didn't we? Or we paid for our server.
We renewed hosting, so that helps with getting our show out because anyone who's a podcast subscriber, you're actually downloading that from slamfireradio.com.
Correct.
Or you're downloading it from a service that got it from slamfireradio.com.
Correct. Mm-hmm. So thanks for doing that. Thanks for supporting us. Shout outs, Adriel.
Yeah, shout outs to everyone giving me these great suggestions on Instagram and that kind of thing on what to do next with my gun room because I don't have it figured out. Like even this panel wall, I was like, I had some really bad ideas about what I was going to put up there, and a buddy of mine suggested the slat wall, and I think it looks good. Well, I don't think the white looks good. I'll have to paint that, but I think
I actually
overall,
like the white.
Yeah,
yeah, I do.
It does have like a very different. I like how it I like the layout of it, like where it sits on the wall compared to like the guns below. I like that. For my shorty 22s, I'm gonna get like something to jack them up a bit so that they hit that thing. But yeah. Anyways, thank you very much for the suggestions, and I'll continue employing them. The next thing I'm going to get is puzzle pieces. Hopefully, something like obscenely like kid oriented, like it has like like letters in it and that kind of a thing, and it's like really
Sesame
built for
Street
like a discount childcare kind of setup. Like I'll try to find something like that.
Okay, you're gonna have to take a aerial photo of your room after that.
I have some other webcams coming, so I'm gonna have a multiple webcam set up very shortly here.
Awesome. Okay. I'd like to give a shout out to all of the instructors who came out before both days. It was a long weekend of shooting, so I know that a couple of them were tired on Monday. So they did a fantastic job, not only with the instruction, but also with keeping everybody safe. And thank you to the participants who came too, who made it such a great day too. So I just want to give a shout out to all of ya. Yeah. Anyways, that's it for today. So let's sign off. Let's go over to Gun Owners Canada. Check us out there. You can comment on our thread that's there as well. Give us a like on Facebook. Go and give us a review on Facebook too if you want to. Anyways, Facebook's the thing. Join the CCFR, and guess what? We'll see y'all next week. Night, everybody.
Later.